Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is FlossTube number 13 and this is October's update. I hope that everyone's doing really well and had a lovely October. I personally love October, mainly because it's my birthday month. So it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago on the 14th of October, and it's also Mark's birthday as well. So our birthdays are like 2 weeks to a week, like 10 days apart. So it's always a nice time of year for us both. We do tend to like to go away if we can, but we decided not to this year, but we still had a really lovely time. I had my friends round and we had a so I recently bought a virtual reality headset, so we had like a night of playing that, and we also had like a fighting game tournament. So a little bit of a fun fact about me, I think I've mentioned that I like video games before, but the one game that I can actually say that I'm good at is Tekken. For those who aren't aware, that is a fighting game. So basically you've got like two people stood here and they're just like fighting each other. That game I've played probably since I was about 6 years old with Tekken 2, and I now play Tekken 7. So I am personally a big fan of Fight Night. I'm not good at any of the other games, but I really enjoy playing Tekken, and we had a really good night. I think everybody else enjoyed it. I certainly had a really good night, so that was a nice way to celebrate my birthday. I also saw quite a lot of family, and Mark and I went out for a little bit of a date night. We went for some food and to the cinema. So yeah, it was a relatively chilled birthday. I still celebrated but didn't do anything too crazy, which is just the way I like it, to be honest. So when it comes to stitching, I have done quite a lot of stitching. However, I'm not able to show you all of it, unfortunately. I've got a couple of bits that I can show you, but I thought it might be fun for this video if I finish it off with a WIP Parade. I've never done a WIP Parade before, mainly because I've never had enough WIPs to constitute a parade. So now that I've got quite a lot of WIPs on the go, A, I want to show them off, and B, I actually don't know what I've got. I'm kind of getting it, they're all just kind of shoved in the basket that I've got for my storage, and I've completely lost track. So it will actually be really good for me as well, just to make a note of everything that I've got. I'll probably make a spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets, and just kind of say what count fabric it's on, when I started it, and just kind of make a bit of a project tracker. But that'll be later on in the video. We're going to start off now with my WIPs that I've worked on this month. So starting with Hello Pumpkin. I am stitching on this piece as part of a stitch along, which has actually finished now, but I'm a bit behind, so I'm trying to catch up. And that is the hashtag Hello Pumpkin, what time do you count this? And it's being run by Jo from Belushi Stitches and Emma from Emma X Stitching. I've completed part one, was the bottom part with the grass and the pumpkins and the mushrooms. Part 2 was the owl, and part 3 is over here with the fox, and that's what I worked on this month. I love this piece. I've said it before and I'll say it again, autumn is my favourite season, and I think that this was the original seasonal tree from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and it's just beautiful. I love the colours, I love the little motifs, I just love everything about it. I'm stitching this on a 28 count white even weave, and I am stitching it 2/2. So that's the first one. I won't be including this in the WIP Parade because you've already seen it. And the next piece I've been working on is also from an Emma and Jo stitch along, and it is Deck the Halls, hashtag Deck the Halls in time for Christmas. So this style is still going on. I'm not completely behind, but I am a little bit behind. So this was month 1 with the Build Snowman, Dress Tree was month 2, and then this part here is do something with a stocking. Hang stocking. So that's the part that I'm working on at the minute, and then when that's done we're going to come down here and there's some below. This will actually finish next month, so November is when the final part will come out, so I just wanted to catch up a little bit, just put some work into it. I'm gonna finish this section and then move back to Hello Pumpkin because I really want to get that finished and framed so that I can actually enjoy it throughout autumn. But yeah, this is as far as I've got, and I don't know if you can see, but this Ada is actually, it's got sparkles in it. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but trust me, it's got sparkles in it. It is an 18 count Ada, which I got from a shop called Lilu Stitch, I believe, which is from Etsy, and I can put that in the description if anybody's interested because I do really love this fabric. It's beautiful. I did make a little bit of a mistake when it came to cutting my fabric, so this is how much I've got to work with. It is literally like right at the edge, and on the other side as well, like I haven't given myself much room at all. It was quite funny because in Darcy's video he was talking about how it wasn't his fault. Darcy, I know it wasn't your fault. It wasn't his fault, but his fabric only gave him like 1.5 inches, I think, and then here's me over here with literally like, that was intentional, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I bought the fabric it was already folded in half, so I've literally just halved it and measured it and thought, oh, it'll fit. So yeah, I'm just an idiot and just did not cut enough fabric. I can't blame anything else, it is 100% my fault. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this piece. It's going to be one that I frame a little bit differently, so I'm actually kind of excited to get it finished and also fully finished. And I've got a perfect place to hang it when I put like my Christmas tree up, and it will be a really cute Christmas decoration from now on. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. And that, my friends, is all the stitching that I can show you right now that I've done this month. However, we can now move into haul, which is super exciting because I did get some really nice goodies for my birthday. So we're going to start off with the needle minder that I got. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit of backstory to this needle minder. This was from my friend Gushan. You've met Gu before. She was in one of my videos a couple of videos ago where I taught her how to cross stitch. And Gu said that she found this needle minder near the start of the year, like ages ago, but she saw it and she knew that she wanted to get it for me. So the backstory is that I play quite a lot of video games with my friends. Either in person we play games like Jackbox, or online together we play Minecraft, we've played Among Us. So whenever I have to come up with a username, I'm terrible at making names, by the way, hence why my YouTube channel is called Beth Chadwick. I just use the one my parents give me. I'm so bad with usernames that one that I tend to land on is Betch, because it's like Beth, but then it sounds like another word, and it's kind of funny. So when she saw this, she knew it was absolutely perfect for me. And it said, oh, don't focus on me, focus on that. There we go. It says Crafty Betch. That's me, I'm Crafty Betch. So that's the needle minder there. So it's got a lady holding some scissors and just says Crafty Betch there. And the back of it is super duper cute, and it's got like a little apple. So I really like that as well. Thank you, Gushan, for my very thoughtful gift. You know a girl can't have too many needle minders, so I'm very, very happy with it. The next gift I got was from my cousin, and it is this beautiful grime guard. So this is from Oh So Twinkle Crafts on Etsy. Tracy runs that shop, and all of my grime guards are from there because I love them. I love the fabrics that she chooses. And with this Q-snap, this is a 11 by 11 Q-snap. I really wanted to get a new grime guard for it a while back. So I ended up getting one that's got like stars and moons on it and stuff, but I bought it at the wrong size, so it doesn't actually fit this frame. This frame is probably the one that I use the most. A lot of my projects will fit perfectly into this. So I was getting a little bit sick of the grime guard that I've got for it already, so I really fancied a change. And this is like the complete opposite. The other one that I've got is probably a bit more kind of like earthy tones. It's a bit of like a browny, beigey kind of colour. So this is just beautiful, so bright. I love bees, I love flowers. So it's just beautiful. And the last gift that I got is quite chunky, so I'm just gonna have to try and get it. Bear with me. Oh, I got a sewing machine. Like I say, it's pretty hefty. So I've been thinking of getting a sewing machine for quite a long time now, mainly for cross-stitch related things. So I've got a piece that I need to fully finish and I want to finish it into a cushion. And I do also really want to give a go Elizabeth Ann Stitch's project bags, because they look amazing. I would love to make something like that. So I'm hoping to give this a go sometime soon. I've got very little experience with a sewing machine, so wish me luck. And I have also got a couple of ideas for some clothes. I might try and make some skirts or something. I don't know. And the last piece of haul that I have for you wasn't actually a birthday present. This is something that I bought for myself, and I did kind of spoil it a bit earlier, so you've already seen it. But it is these frames. So the one that I've got here, they're called Nudge Square Hoops, I think, but the keyword is nudge. Merge. There. So I really wanted to give a different kind of hoop or frame a go, because I bought this stand ages ago and it doesn't really work very well with Q-snaps. Joe from Belushi Stitches did show me another way that you can do it, but I found that I don't normally you have to have quite a bit of excess fabric, and I don't usually have, as you can tell, I don't normally have enough excess fabric. So I really wanted to try a different kind of frame that would fit this, mainly because I want to know if I would like a Lowry stand. Rather than investing the £100, I'd rather make this one work for me than getting the more expensive one. And it does fit in here really well. The one critique that I have isn't because of the nudge hoop, it's because of this, and it's that I am quite tall and I like to have my cross stitch quite close to me. So what I've had to do is, I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not, but I put my cross stitch at the bottom, so the bottom of it is in here, so then my cross stitch is like this, and then it's more at my height, so I can actually like see it and work on it properly. So it's been really successful. The nudge hoops have been really successful in helping with that, and I got a few different sizes as well. So this is size number 3, I think. Yeah, this is like the second to biggest one. This is the biggest one, and that is 280mm by 250mm, but that doesn't really mean much to me, so it's this big. Then we're going down in size, so this is the second to smallest, which is 165mm by 145mm, and the smallest little baby one is 110mm by 95mm. It's just oh no, it's looking at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at it. I can't even put my hand behind it like the beauty YouTubers do. Look at it! These did come in a pack of 4, and it was about £20-ish. So I will put a link in the description to the Etsy shop where I got them from, because I did like the idea of having all of them and you get a mix, and depending on what you're working on you can have all sorts of frames. So yeah, really recommend these. It was actually Lauren who put me onto these. Lauren from Cross Stitch Bunny, who I think I gave a shout out in my last FlossTube. In her video she was using one, so I left her a comment saying, what are those frames? I'm really intrigued. So she let me know it was the Nudge hoops, and she recommends them as well. She says that she's kind of couldn't recommend them enough on her Instagram before as well. So credit where credit is due, it was Lauren that put me onto them. So now, it's time for a parade! A WIP Parade! I don't know if it's just me, but being like a Tumblr girl Supernatural fan, all I think in my head is, confetti, it's a parade!
Confetti, it's a parade!
From when Cass says it, please tell me that somebody understands that reference and it's not just me. But whenever anybody says WIP Parade or just parade in general, that is where my brain goes to. Tumblr, you have ruined my life. Usually when I make a floss tube, I like to make quite a few notes to make sure that I talk about everything, that I don't miss anything. For this, I have literally just put WIP Parade. I have brought upstairs my basket where I keep all of my whips, and we are literally just going to go through them. So I don't know how many there are. I don't know if I'm going to miss any. I mean, everything is stored in here, so as long as I empty this, I should have gone through everything. Oh, it's heavy. Oh. These aren't going to be in any particular order. It's literally just going to be as I get them out the basket. Maybe there'll be some surprises for me, not just for you, for me as well. But let's get into it. To start us off with whip number 1, we have got the Meadow. This is a Bothy Threads Rendale design, and I started this one fairly recently. I started it in May. It was part of Mania, so this one I've only worked on a couple of times, and this is how far I've got. So we've just got the little bunny rabbit's face. I feel like I showed this not too long ago and I've not worked on it since, but I think I've made a fair amount of progress with it. With Rendale designs, I always find that it's best to kind of make a clump in the middle. For me personally, I like to park threads, and just everything that I work on has got to be connected to where I'm working. So you just kind of slowly build it up rather than kind of, I know that there is a little bit of a gap here, but within reason, but rather than just focusing on one colour and doing all of that with all the spaces, I just like to keep the stitches really close together. That's whip number 1. Whip number 2 is this piece. This is Northern Lights by Emma Congdon, also known as Stitchrovia. And again, I started this one back in May this year. I am stitching this 3/1 and it's on 14 count black Ada. So I'm using 3 strands just to get some quite fluffy stitches. There's not a lot to show on this one, I'm afraid. I think I worked on it for a couple of days, but similar. It's kind of similar to a Rendale design in the way that there's a bit of confetti, but there are little chunks throughout, so I'm probably going to go with the same method of what I do with the Meadow. Whip number 3 is Final Fantasy VII. I love this piece. I just love full coverage. I think that's what it is. So I'm stitching this one on an 18 count Ada, and I am doing it 2 strands over 1. If you look a little bit further back, you can kind of see the detail a bit better. Whip number 4 is one of my oldest pieces. This is the 2nd oldest whip that I've got at the moment, and it's so colourful. I love the colours in this one, and it is Sailor Moon Staff, which is by Nerdy Cross Stitch Art on Instagram. And that previous piece as well, Final Fantasy VII, was also by Sarah from Nerdy Cross Stitch Art. The fabric for this one is from Claire Brown X Stitch, and it is a 14 count Ada, and it's in this beautiful, I can't remember what it's called. It may have been bubblegum, I think. I can't quite remember. But yeah, all these gorgeous pastel colours, and when I saw it I just knew that I had to do something Sailor Moon related because the colours just match, in my opinion. I love pastels, pastel kind of gal. This one is nearly done. I think I've probably done like 75% of it, so I've literally just got to carry on filling in the star up here and fill in the moon and that circle there. We have another issue where I've used fabric that's way too small. Like, look at that. That is ridiculous. That one, I'm going to say, is just a rookie error. Like, I didn't quite realise how much space I needed. And for this one, I was just thinking, oh, you know, I just want to stitch it for the fun of it. I'm not going to frame it. But now I probably would quite like to just back it onto some poster board. I'm probably going to struggle, but you know, you have to make these mistakes to learn, and I think it's still a lovely piece and I really enjoy stitching on it. Whip number 5 is my oldest whip, and it is also my favourite. It's another full coverage piece, and it is this. This is the Fellowship of the Ring by Luton Pattern. I'm stitching this on a 14 count Ada, and I'm doing it 2 strands over 1. But I honestly love this piece. This is sort of like my bragging piece. I know that people who cross stitch probably find other things just as amazing, but for people that aren't that into cross stitch, this is one that I can show you, that like people who don't like it, like or just aren't interested in it, I show them this and they're like, oh okay, oh they're either humouring me or they are genuinely like, wow, okay, because I don't think people will realise just what you can do with cross stitch and how full coverage works and how common it is. So I love, love, love this one. Again, I think I'm about 75% of the way there. I'm nearly done. And similar to Final Fantasy, I am using the parking method with this one as well. The way that I did my gridding on this was definitely a learning curve. So I did it with thread. So I gridded it all myself. This is just thread that I will pull out of the piece eventually when it's finished. I didn't mention I started this in May 2020, so it's been just over a year. It was its anniversary back in May. So yeah, going back to the gridding, I don't know what it's going to be like when I attempt to pull it out, but we shall see. But I've already learned my lesson. I'm never going to grid like this again, basically because it just took up so much time, and you can just buy the Magic Guide Ada and it's so much quicker. So yes, I'm just like got my arm out to fit it all in. But I adore this. I need to get back to it soon. That's one thing that this WIP Parade is doing. I'm like, oh, I want to work on that now. I feel like I may have lost count. I think that was WIP number 5. I think we'll move on to 6. What I think is 6. This is another Lord of the Rings piece. It is another Emma Congdon / Stitch Rovia piece. And it is this. Currently says not all those who wander, and in the end it will say not all those who wander are lost, and that is a quote by J.R.R. Tolkien, which is from Lord of the Rings. And this is such a cute little, I feel like I made tons of progress on it even though I didn't spend much time on it. It is one that I started in May, part of Mania, so yeah, I think I probably spent about a week on it and I got a fair bit done. So I think when I do fancy going back to this one, it won't take me too long to finish it, which is great. I'm trying to work out what it's stitched on and how many strands. I think it's... oh no. I have the excess fabric, so I'm really hoping that it says it on it. It does, it does! Okay, so this is an even weave, 28 count, and it's called Cloudstone. There, I got it from Lakeside Needlecraft. So it's 28 count, and looking at that, I think that that must be 3 strand because the coverage is pretty good on it. There aren't really any gaps. I think normally with 2 strand on 28 count, you can see the fabric through it. So we're gonna say it's 3 strand over 2 on 28 count even weave. Huh. I think that's it. Is that it? So that was 6, including the 2 that I've shown you, and then I've got another one that I'm working on as well at the moment, so that's 9. Is that it? Yeah, because I must have finished some. Oh, I feel loads better now. I thought I had tons of, I thought there was going to be, genuinely I thought there was going to be like 15. So that has made me feel much better. I'm just going to have a double check on Pattern Keeper to see if there's anything that I've missed. There is. Spotted it. Okay. Here it is. This is another one of my oldest WIPs. This is B. It's on some gorgeous honeycomb Ada. And it is 2/1 18 count. I remember because I did have 14 count of this fabric, but I really wanted 18 count, so I gave the 14 count to my friend Alice, and I've got the 18 count, so there we go. It uses quite a lot of blended thread, so I really wanted to do it with 2 strands rather than 3, and I prefer the coverage on 14 count with 3 strands. So this was the compromise that I came to. I'm gonna be honest, this one has been slightly tainted for me, and it would be really, really good to get everybody else's opinion on it, because I saw this a long, long, long time ago on Instagram, contacted the person that was selling it, bought it. It wasn't through an official site, it was just that they sent me the PDF and I paid them via PayPal. There was a little bit of a language barrier, so I didn't want to ask too many questions, which I don't think is an excuse, but hey ho, we are where we are. So I bought the pattern, and then shortly after I found out that this is actually a kit. So this pattern is a kit that is sold on Gecko Rouge, and I've seen quite a lot of people that are stitching the piece. So I don't think I bought it from the actual seller. So I'm very torn because I want to make sure that the right people get the credit. And also I spent quite a lot of money. There were quite a lot of threads in it, and I've bought them all. It's all kitted up. I've got them all in my box, all lined up, ready to stitch on it. So I think I've just kind of dragged my heels a little bit with this one because I just don't know how to feel about it. And I'd already started it as well, so it's tricky. From the official seller, it doesn't come as a pattern. You can only buy it as a full kit, and it costs like £60. So for me to, like, if it was just a pattern, I would just buy it and be like, okay, I'll use your pattern, I'll give you all the credit, that's absolutely fine. But because it's an entire kit, I'd have to spend £60 on it, and I'm not even going to use the threads from it because I've already bought the threads. So let me know your thoughts on it. Am I being a bit too hard on myself, or have you had a similar situation? Do you have any advice for me? That would be very much appreciated. Okay, so those are all the WIPs. That in total, I think is 10 WIPs. But I think I've counted correctly. If I've counted correctly, I currently have 10 WIPs. That isn't too bad. I'm okay. I can live with that. I can deal with that. I do also have a couple of things kitted up, but I've not started them, so they're not WIPs yet. But yeah, that's manageable. I think that's manageable. I can cope with that. I've been saying to myself that I don't want to start anything new unless it's a gift for somebody, until I've gotten through my WIPs, and I feel like I can get through them in a decent amount of time, and then I can start stitching on new things. So because there's only 10, I feel like I can get through them in a fairly quick amount of time. I think the Not All Those Who Wander won't take very long. The Sailor Moon and Big Lord of the Rings one doesn't really have, well, I'm most of the way there. I think the Fellowship of the Ring will probably take a bit longer, but I'm most of the way there, you know? So that's all super exciting. The two that I showed you for what I've worked on in October, so Hello Pumpkin, I definitely want to have that done by next video. And Deck the Halls will probably be done in November as well. So we're getting there, we're getting things done, we're progressing. This is fantastic. But that's all that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was fun, doing something slightly different, but still a FlossTube. I hope you like my WIPs. Let me know what you think. And like I said, I'd really appreciate if you could let me know what your thoughts are on that bee pattern, because part of me doesn't want to stitch it because every time I do I just feel guilty. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I shall see you next time. Bye!